All right, well, I guess we're due for a little update here on the potato patch, the fall potatoes. And I just went through today and started trying to straw them in a little bit more, the first round of heaping the straw up higher. Oh, I got freaking mud stuck to my boots and now I'm picking up all the hay. I say straw, I'm using hay. But just want to give you guys kind of a view of how it's looking coming up. The germination, in my opinion, is not great. So yeah, the germination, in my opinion, has not been great. I don't know, maybe 50%, probably closer to 40, just kind of looking around. And some of it is still starting to come up. You know, some of the plants are almost a foot tall. And then in other spots, you've got, you know, little ones here that's just a couple inches tall. And then you've got some that are just now breaking through. So I've been a little slow to come in and want to add hay and add mulch, because I don't want to mulch over a spot and, you know, kind of declare it done for. Like there's this big gap, you know, from this plant here to that next one in the row. There's this big gap that's 5-6 feet long, but I don't want to necessarily lay that in thick with mulch just yet and abandon it and then have potatoes that try to come up underneath and get suffocated. So I've been, like I said, I've been reluctant to hay it in, and then of course because of that the weeds have been trying to push through and come on up. But you know, I went through and all the ones that look real well established, like right in here, went ahead and made those a lot thicker with the hay and kind of really stacked it up. But you know, despite the heat, they're coming up fine. There's a couple little ones that you know, kind of looked like, here's one coming up and it kind of looks a little burnt on the tips, but I think it'll push through it. And I don't know how many of them may have failed to germinate because of the heat. I don't know if that's a thing with potatoes or not, but you know, the better germination happened over here in the better soil. Over here, the soil is a lot more powdery. If you remember, I think I made a whole video talking about that. Maybe I forgot to, but showing the transition from, you know, really good, really rich, organic rich soil to kind of a mix to, at the time that I tilled it, you know, almost dead. It looks a lot better now because I got compost mixed in and it's kind of starting to, and it got rained on, so it's darkened up. But when this stuff over here dries out, it's just like powder. It's not good. So I don't know how much of that may have sort of stalled the germination. But yeah, like you see, here's another one that's just starting to come up. Only been up for a couple of days, and I've got a few more that are like that walking through here. But you know, technically the potato patch goes all the way over to this row here, the last row that's got hay in it. And if I walk up this row, you know, man, let me see, a bunch of grass in there. Let's see, there's a potato plant, there's a potato plant, there's one. The 3 plants in the whole row, you know. And this next row, there's maybe 5 in that whole row, maybe only 2 or 3 in that next row. So the further west I went, the worse the soil was, in my opinion, as far as, you know, holding moisture and being good quality soil. Like I said, I don't know if that, you know, thwarted the germination or not. But if we just look at that as an analog to say we're seeing better germination in the better soil, then you could maybe blame this. But I mean, you know, it was dry. I was having to water every day just to keep the soil moist. And then the soil was really hot and moist. And I think that may have probably rotted a lot of the seed potatoes. There were spots in here where I went through and, you know, when I was looking for them to first start germinating, I would dig a little bit in the row just with my hands, you know, just kind of uncover what I could, and I would find rotten seed potatoes. So there are a lot of them that just, they were pushing eyes and then put them in the ground and they rotted. So it is what it is. But you know, at this point, 50 pounds of seed potato in, if I've got, you know, whatever, 40% germination for easy math, what is that? Is that 40 pounds of potatoes? No, let's see. 80% germination would be 40 pounds. 40% germination, that'd be less than 25 pounds that have actually sprouted. But we'll see. Like I said, you know, I planted 50 pounds. It cost me right at $1 a pound. It was like $53 or $55 with shipping to get the 50-pound sack of potatoes. So, you know, $1 a pound for the seed potatoes. If I get 10 to 1 like I did this spring, you know, that basically gives me my potato crop, I guess, for 10 cents a pound instead of $1 a pound effectively, right? That's, I guess, that's a quick way to look at it. Never really thought about the math like that before. But anyway, I just figured I would show them to you guys on how it's coming. Like I said, the first little round of hay put down. I've still been real light with where I put hay. Try to keep an eye on it for about another week. I come out here about every other day and have to pull weeds. The weeds are pulling easy, at least, because the soil's worked up nice. The weeds are pulling easy. I do have a couple of bonuses. I've got some daikon radish that's coming back up on its own, and I've got one little tomato plant over there in that first row that's coming up on its own. So I just left it. You know, it may or may not that I need it. I've got four rows of tomato plants that are all really starting to fill out and look good now that it's cooled off a little bit and we got some rain. The tomatoes are really popping back, and so are the peppers. The peppers look really good. But yeah, anyway, that's it. I never did get around to planting anything else over there. I never even got so far as putting the plastic on it because I'm lazy. Maybe I could do that right now. But I need to get that, yeah, covered back under plastic, try to kill that grass off of it. And I need to get some sort of fall crop going into there. I think I'm too late now. Let's see, it's early September, September 5th today. It's my brother's birthday. September 5th today, October, November. We might get our first frost late November. So I've basically got 3 months for frost-free crops that I could still try to get. That's not much anything. Maybe a real short season corn if I could find one, but I'll probably just forget to do anything with it and, you know, just let it grow up in weeds. But if nothing else, it will be my ready ground for winter crops. I'll get all my, you know, winter greens and carrots and stuff like that will be going into those rows. So anyway, potatoes, not great so far, but not a total loss. So we'll let you know along as we go along.